For Tuesday, April 14th, 2020, it's the Serenno Squadcast, the official podcast of the Serenno Squad. Welcome, everybody, this week. And I'm Gunner. Joining us today is squad leader Paul. Paul,
That's
say
me.
hello.
I'm here, and so is my cat Cody.
Oh,
Who's like, nope, we're done. He's gone.
he's
I'm
out.
already bored.
Squad armorer Wayne is already bored. As you can see, he is hard at work.
Yes.
And PR officer Evan. Thanks for being here, fellas. How's everybody holding up?
Pretty
I'm
good.
I'm here.
One at a
Yeah.
time. Paul, how you doing? What you been up to this week?
I work, and then I go in the living room and I play video games, and then I go to bed and I get up and I walk across the hall and go to work and do it all over again.
As one does. How about you, Wayne?
Same.
Same.
Video games. I paint on guns on my days off. Because I'm working 10-hour days now, so there's every Wednesday I'm off and I really have nothing to do. And if it's not raining or
Weather
cold,
permitting.
I'll go outside and paint and do stuff, and then you end up with stuff like this.
Nice.
Yay.
How about you, Evan?
Well, I've been doing a lot of the same. I've been doing a lot of this here, playing some
Nice.
VR.
Ooh,
Yep.
nice. I, as Wayne knows, I was printing a helmet, which was too small.
Or maybe my
Too
head
small.
was too big. It was one of the two.
It's
Well,
disappearing into the background. It's not even really there.
There it is. Yeah. Talk about that later.
It's all a figment of our imaginations.
Are you teasing us with that helmet?
No teasing at all. What are you talking? It doesn't. I am.
If Wayne's not going to wear it, is it going to be you?
Well, I think I'm the only one that could probably fit my nose in there.
I love how
The walls,
disappearing
just-
and reappearing and disappearing.
you can't see it. Forget it. All right. Anyways, so
Technology at its finest.
yeah. So first up, we've got some Legion news.
We do? Because there
We
hasn't been anything for like 2 months.
So
Yep.
since our last recording, which was before everything going on, we had plans for the St. Patty's Day parade, and that was canceled with everything else. So I guess the news would be that everything is shut down. Everything's canceled.
Yeah, this was really supposed to be like our big, we go a couple of months without trooping, typically like through, like after the movies come out, we'll go January, February, and a part of March without trooping a lot of times. And then after that, we have a ton of troops all of a sudden. And it's like, we're back in the saddle again. And now it's like, we were just about to get to that point. I think we had like 2 or 3 troops, couple of cons. Yep. And then now it's like, what the heck?
Yeah. The last con was Mysticon. Yeah. Not the finest, but at least it was something, you know.
It wasn't bad. It was
a lot more enjoyable than I thought it would be.
Yeah,
we've only been at that con once or twice because of things long in the past that don't need to be dredged up here.
Whoa! He's back.
Evan was so shocked he dropped his phone. I think it went pretty well because I think they kind of don't really know what to do with us. I think they were a little like, I don't know, but it went well. We got to meet lots of members from across the state.
Yeah, that was surprising because it was going on. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say I got to, holler across a parking lot at the bully from A Christmas Story. So
I didn't even see him.
I got to talk to him. This is nice.
Yep, I talked to him too.
Yeah, the only time I saw him was after we were packing up. He was leaving the hotel, and I was just like, "Yay, thank you."
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised at how many people came, even though GalaxyCon was going on the same weekend. People from Richmond.
I think GalaxyCon did hurt their attendance because I think their attendance was down, but it was still, I think there was still a decent crowd.
Yeah.
Things still went well.
Yeah.
It was kind of a learning setup for us because we were kind of figuring out our setup as we went along during the weekend. I was constantly tweaking because I was like, I don't like this here. I'll move over here.
Yeah, because that was the first time we'd used both screens. And
Oh yeah, that's right. We had both the fan films going and footage of, cons and troops and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I
it's
spent
pretty
the
neat.
few days leading up to it frantically downloading as many photos as I could of anybody trooping. I was rating everyone's Facebook page.
No permission, just
Oh, no.
throwing it up there.
You posted it on Facebook. You gave up your rights to everything.
Yep.
So
that
when
weekend
are
went
we?
well.
Yeah, that was the last one. So as
Pretty
far
much.
as the expected time before anybody can, is there even like an estimated time that they're thinking we're going to come back, and kind of like
Well,
how people are saying, like, people might be
it's gonna
going back
up
to
the
work.
states. I mean, we're gonna have to follow whatever state guidelines there are.
Right now, the Virginia state guideline is we're under a stay-at-home order until mid-June.
Mid-June.
Yeah,
Well,
June.
that answers my question.
But the order does say if things change, it could end earlier. But I don't think it's going to. Yeah. As much as it sucks being home, and not out having fun.
Yeah, but I'm at home breathing, so it's different.
Yeah, that is a bonus.
It's nice.
So.
Yep.
Camera. Trying to find a better angle. Feel like I'm in shadow.
Looks good to me. Well, I guess that's probably it for Legion News. Nothing really going on. Just
the only other thing is the Legion as a whole has basically just put a freeze on everything. They're not doing anything. Normally there are times they're doing amendments and just normal administrative things of a club this large that you would do. They basically put a hold on everything. They said everything is on hold until further notice. Right. They put a hold on it 30 days ago, and I think they're getting ready to put in another 30-day hold on everything.
Yeah, they are.
It's also looking like for this year, the one trooping requirement, the one troop a year requirement, is probably going to be lifted because it's we're months into this, and it's you can't exactly tell people hey, you've got to troop one time a year, but you couldn't have trooped for these 4 months or however long.
Yeah.
Say the baseball game in April, that was their one troop that they could do, and they couldn't do it. I mean, that's not fair to. Well, sorry, you didn't do it, even though you couldn't. You're out.
Yeah.
Yeah, which we were 2 weeks away from our biggest troops with the Red Sox game and a couple other things were all going to be happening the same weekend of the 25th. They are all postponed or canceled. There was supposed to be an Easter egg hunt that was with a charity group and everything like that. All of it's postponed or canceled.
Now it's all Boffins.
Yeah, and I'm
Stinking
fairly new,
Boffins.
so I was. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm just. Go ahead.
I was saying I'm new to it all, so I haven't gotten but to maybe 3 or 4 actual troops. I think maybe 3 or 4. Yeah. So this is kind of disappointing, but it's it can't be worse than what you guys are feeling, where it just is a screeching halt after all that momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
But go ahead.
I was gonna say because we had the movie premieres, and then okay, we had holidays, we had movies. Let's take a little bit of time to chill out, mellow, and then we had the con was gonna start being when you go up the roller coaster and you're clicking up the ramp, and then nothing. They turned off the roller coaster and rolled us back to the gate.
That's exactly what it was like.
Yeah, but at least we got some time to work on some projects that maybe we didn't have enough time for before, or just to procrastinate. I've done a lot of that too.
I got
Oh,
nothing.
yeah.
You just finished. You're big.
I finished my Stormtrooper, trooped him 2 or 3 times, and then that was it.
Yeah. Buy my house so I can buy armor.
Now, Wayne, you might be coming into some armor, a new kit, right? Or is that
Maybe.
maybe? So that's exciting.
Spoilers.
That'll be something to do.
Is it Dengar? Because it really needs to be Dengar.
What a lovable character.
Everybody hates on him so much.
All right, so next topic, top story. I kind of had a quarantine thing, but after seeing the Clone Wars final TV spot, I thought that should probably be the top story. So good. What do you guys think?
I'm so ridiculously excited.
I wish they would just release it all at once as like a movie. Like I just waiting for 4 weeks for all 4 of those episodes is going to be misery.
I'm sorry, didn't we just talk about that? Did you have something else that you had to do?
It's true.
Yeah. The worst is going to be the wait on the last one.
Yep.
Because I don't know what episode it's going to hit, but we're going to see Order 66.
Yeah.
The show is, they've already shown in the trailer, the show is going to overlap the events of Revenge of the Sith.
It's going to be brutal.
Yeah. I guarantee it's going to hit in that last episode because the episode titles are out there. And the last one is like Victory and Death or something like that. It's something like very metal.
So was the like Ahsoka clones, is that brand new or is that from like a comic or something? What is that from? That is just awesome.
No, that's a brand new thing.
So cool.
They've teased it a couple times when it got when Clone Wars got first announced at like Comic-Con like 2 years ago, whenever they said, "Oh yeah, it's coming back." I think that was one of the teaser images they showed.
Oh yeah.
So it's been floating out there.
Yeah.
And I've already talked to Jen, and she's agreed with me. Is like, when I do finally get a chance to buy a proper armor set, I am going to buy another helmet painted up like that.
Are you going to do animated or realistic?
Animated. Because the armor set I want to get is Rex from Phase 2, so it'd be the Rex that he's wearing in those episodes, and then have a second helmet so I could drop it on and have the Ahsoka helmet.
That's awesome.
Do we have somebody that wants to do Ahsoka?
I think Amanda does, or she mentioned it.
I think it's been mentioned.
Baleku.
Yeah, anyone who's female and under 5'6", well, even
my wife.
Not really. Yeah. Hey, she wants to do it. Tell her to do it.
She hates us.
Yeah. We'll see.
Sit her down and say, "Here, we're going to watch Clone Wars, and you're going to learn why Ahsoka is such an awesome character."
That's right. Now let's
After
just
the first few seasons.
Yeah, let's just get that baby out, and then But I mean, it almost looked to me that the animation was totally different than the animation that we've seen in the last 8 episodes. Is it anything different, or is this all this last 4 episodes, are these totally new and rewritten? Or are these remnant? Okay, they're not like the other episodes, which were already written back.
The Bad Batch got released as kind of like a weird,
like an animatic.
Right.
Yeah. But these didn't.
All these scripts were written way back when. They've been tweaked a little bit since then, but I mean, they wrote the stories whenever they were doing the production. Geez, now what? Show was canceled 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been like 7 or 8 years since these scripts were written, and Bad Batch was in like a rough animated form that you could see. I don't think the Martez sisters, the one that just wrapped up, had been released in any shape or form, and then this one's only been teased.
Yeah, that was an interesting plot thread. I don't know if the idea was to kind of tie it in with the events of Solo, or or what, but it seemed sort of off theme.
The trailer?
No, the 4 episodes with the Martez sisters, like it felt like out of nowhere, like for the last season. It
Right.
felt like it should have been more of a build up to what's going to happen.
Well, that's kind of what it was, because the Bad Batch was Rex and the clones. Because like the Dave Filoni said, the main storylines were the clones, Rex, Ahsoka, and then like Anakin and Obi-Wan. They were the main kind of stories taking you all the way through. We know where Anakin and Obi-Wan end up at. And then, so the Bad Batch was kind of Rex and the clones. And then you get Ahsoka. This is the one that just wrapped up, was what happened when she left the temple. And then that leads us into Mandalore, where everything kind of culminates.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they were designed to bore me to tears.
Come on, Wayne. I
I
know you love it.
I did not like those episodes at all.
Cody
They were
just
all right.
screamed at you.
They definitely, it started slow. That first
Mhm.
episode was kind of like, okay, what's going on here? Second one was a little better. They ended really abruptly. It was like somebody's like, okay, hey, we're gonna watch this movie, but I'm only gonna let you watch it 20 minutes at a time, a week apart.
Yeah, it sounds like my history class.
Yeah, it's like when you're watching a movie in school. It's like, well,
Yeah.
you can only watch a little bit at a time, so hope you remember what happened last time.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really hoping that
Filler.
they give us an option to watch them all seamlessly put together.
That would be cool.
Make it that way for all the long arcs.
Mm-hmm. Like the Umbra arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I thought that the TV spot thing was really cool. For some reason, it just looked totally different, but it could just be that it's just fresh, and but so excited. It's got jetpacks. It's got cool pilot helmets, all the stuff we like. I'm really excited.
And a fight that was motion captured by Ray Park himself.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
He did the mocap for Maul in the fight.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Um,
if you've read Ahsoka's book, or watched Rebels, they drop hints about what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll kind of figure out why Rex didn't join the Empire and why the Empire is not really looking for him.
Yeah, that'll be an interesting thing to see.
So, what do you guys now in the last episode of Clone Wars, which was the last episode of the Ahsoka arc, I guess you would call it?
Yeah.
She ends up going off with the Mandalorians, and they
Yes.
have a common enemy now.
Yes.
So I don't know much of the history of the whole, how Maul, I never even knew that he was around or doing anything during Order 66. Do you guys have any theories, or have you read anything where you actually know what's going on, or is it just like what you just said in the Ahsoka books? They kind of drop a few things, little hints.
For not much has changed for Maul from, if you've seen Clone Wars leading up to this point. So the end of season 5 was him taking over Mandalore, doing the whole thing, getting all the crime syndicates together and all that kind of stuff. They touch on some of that in Rebels, and the biggest thing is in Solo. I mean, him showing up at the end of Solo, proving that he's the leader of Crimson Dawn. And in fact, this past episode even name dropped Crimson Dawn.
Yeah, that was cool.
What was the timeline between Solo and Episode 1? 15 years?
Solo is 10 years. It's roughly halfway between Episode 3 and Episode 4. So it's like 10 years.
Gotcha.
So Maul starts comes back during the Clone Wars, builds up the crime army, takes over Mandalore in an attempt to manipulate the independent systems, Palpatine comes in and says, "No, you're not messing up my plans. I'm so close to the finish. You're not going to mess this up for me." And there's a middle chunk between what happens after Palpatine comes in and smacks him down and where we're at now. So I'm hoping like the first episode or two of Clone Wars will kind of fill in that gap, because there's a comic, but I read it a long time ago and I can't really remember what happened. It's called
Darth Maul, son of Dathomir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got those if you want to.
I don't actually have them, so.
Oh, okay.
I had review copies that were electronic and I lost them at some point.
Oh. Well, if you want to read them again, I own them.
Nice.
When the quarantine lifts, I may borrow them from you.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not just going to risk grandma's life and limb to read more comics.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Grandma deserves better. Yeah, so a little segue here. Ahsoka. I ran into, or I came across a pretty good interview. I sent it to you guys. I don't know if you had time to listen to it.
I listened to the Echo Fest.
Yeah, you got to get through the first 10 minutes of it, but it's Ashley Eckstein. How do you pronounce her last name?
Eckstein.
Eckstein.
Something like that.
Ashley, Ahsoka Tano. Yeah, on what is this YouTube channel so that I can share it with everybody? It's a great interview. They kind of ask her more questions about specifically Ahsoka. It's God, I can't read. Star Wars Theory. That's the name of the YouTube channel, and they've got a rule of two thing. But anyways, if you go on there, you should be able to find it. It was released about 2 weeks ago, and they talk a lot about the character development. And I thought was most interesting is that they kind of talked about how she kind of found the voice for Ahsoka. She was originally supposed to be like Icelandic, and
really,
yeah, and she couldn't do the accent, and apparently, I think it was Filoni who was like, "No, I want it more Icelandic," and she's like, "I am doing it Icelandic. This is how I do it." And he liked her kind of spunk, and so it's like, you know what, just be yourself. And so the idea was that, you know, she kind of let Ahsoka project her own feelings and how she really is. So more than anything, Ahsoka is Ashley. A lot of what makes Ahsoka is how Ashley feels about things and her perspective. So I thought that was really cool that a voice actor could kind of, lead the actual character's development along. So it's really interesting stuff. And there's a bunch of fun little facts, like talking about her husband's a baseball player. And when they were
David Eckstein, I think he used to play for the Cardinals.
Yep. Well, that's when I think he was in the World Series. They talk about it in the interview, but it was funny how he said they met George Lucas and offered him a signed baseball, and George Lucas is like, "I don't like baseball," you know.
That seems like something he'd do.
Yeah. So you get a little inside little scoops like that, which I find really interesting. You can only hear that stuff from the people that were there. So really good interview. Like Wayne said, the first 10 minutes is horrible feedback, and it's tough to get through. But if you can get through the first 10 minutes, it is an awesome listen. Gives you a little bit of perspective on Ahsoka.
She was very nice at the premiere.
Oh, we were waiting for that.
Everybody take a drink.
Bow to the king.
Yeah. Jen got her autograph at Celebration in 2017, 15,
Nice.
16. I can't remember which one. One of them.
Cool.
She's so nice, but unfortunately that makes her autograph line move really slowly
Right.
because she wants to like have an actual interaction with everybody to actually make it feel like you're actually like, I actually talked to you and not just like, here's $10, sign my picture.
Right.
It's not $10.
She seems really nice.
Yeah.
She's also got a clothing line, which is really cool. She's come up with her own graphics and different logos and stuff like that, and t-shirt designs. Sure. What?
Her universe.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
They have really cool stuff.
Yeah, so I was looking at one of those shirts today. Really neat. I think I might get one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mostly
interesting
female,
stuff.
Mostly female oriented, but not entirely.
Yeah.
They got some men's t-shirts, some really cool ones. The one that they mentioned on here, it was has a blackout Star Wars logo, and then on the back it's got one of the the cards at the beginning of one of the episodes with a quote in the blue font.
Yeah.
On the back, and it has something to do with helping people or something like that, which is it's a relatable one for everybody. So I thought that was pretty cool.
There is one that I would like to get, but I'd have to make it myself because I don't think anybody else would care.
What's that?
The one that they took of the old quote, "Who my father was is not as important as my memory of him."
Oh,
What was that from?
Get to working on that one.
That's the one where Boba tries to kill Mace.
Oh, yep.
You're gonna have to turn in your helmet now. You didn't know a Boba Fett reference.
Yeah, but it was from the show, and he doesn't have the helmet yet, so it doesn't count.
That doesn't sound like a true Star Wars fan.
Boba.
He's not the real Boba.
Yeah, the real Boba's from Empire Strikes Back. Only.
And that's what your helmet is, Empire Strikes Back.
Yep.
La-di-da. Let's see. Does anybody have any other stuff you want to recommend? Any videos, any interviews or anything? Have you guys come across anything?
I don't know about specific videos, but if there's somebody who's like, oh my God, you guys are going really deep dive nerd stuff, I want to get caught up. There's a good YouTube channel, Star Wars Explained. They do really good updates and kind of deep dives on things. Like he does a thing every month that's like the canon updates from this month, or he'll be like, Mandalorians are big, so he kind of will do like a 8-minute video that's like the history of Mandalorians explained very simply, and kind of like, okay, in this book they talk about this, in this movie they said this, and etc. It's a really good channel. It's run by good people. Because Star Wars on YouTube can be a dangerous thing.
Yes.
There's Chewie.
No, that's Lexi. Come here, Lexi.
Chewie's being nice and quiet.
Come here.
I would say for recommendations from me, I mean, if we're all stuck in the house during the quarantine, my favorite thing is the Tales of the Jedi Star Wars comic series. Actually, let me so this is pretty much probably my favorite Star Wars, anything Star Wars. Tales of the Jedi is just, it's like pre Knights of the Old Republic, so it's like real deep, like original, like not quite original, but it's about 4,000 or 5,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. I mean, and the art style is so interesting. I mean, it's very like kind of ancient, very ancient looking, and everyone looks like sort of Egyptian, and I don't know, there's a lot of like kind of medieval sort of stuff, but like Star Warsy medieval. Nice. I don't know, I just love the idea that Star Wars in the deep past actually did look very different. So that's my recommendation for quarantine.
Yeah, where did you get that? Did you order it online?
I got this. Honestly, I got it at Barnes & Noble like years ago. I don't think it's still in this omnibus. I think they do it differently now. But Tales of the Jedi, that's what it is. I have Tales of the Jedi Volume 1 and 2 of this omnibus. I think is all that there is. But that's the full series is Tales of the Jedi.
Nice. Cool.
Oh, yeah, and to tag on to that, it was on sale. I don't know if it's still on sale. That sale might have ended. Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 is on, like, I know it's on Xbox and I know it's on PC.
Yep.
If it's not on sale anymore, it's like $9.99. It's well worth your money. You get 1 and 2 for $10 each. Great story that is not canon, but it's still a ton of fun. It's a little dated in graphics and gameplay, but I've gotten sucked back into it, and I forgot how easy it is to lose hours to that game.
Yes.
Yeah, they actually have it downloadable on the in like the iTunes app. So on my iPhone, I can play it.
Yep.
That's right. They did put it out as an app. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep.
Yes. Well worth your time, well worth your money.
Yes, indeed. And you can pick your path. You can go light side or dark side. You can be a little bit of both. You can be hardcore Sith, strangle people, get all those dark powers. It's a lot of fun.
I just can't in good conscience be dark side. I have never in all of my years, I've probably played Knights of the Old Republic half a dozen times all the way through. I have never ever done dark side. I cannot do it.
It's
Fun.
fun.
Dark side's
You gotta
fun.
do it. It's so fun. You get a mask and you look really badass.
Yeah. There was one playthrough. I was as dark as you could get by the time you got to the second planet. I hadn't even gotten a lightsaber yet. I already had like Sith eyes. The face was all messed up.
Wow.
Yeah. A lot of bad choices.
Yes.
So,
what say you, Wayne? What's a reference? What's something you could recommend?
Of the new stuff?
Just anything.
Yeah, anything Star Wars.
Anything you come across in the last week. Where did you get your blaster from?
Oh, this is a woodchuck. I've had this for a while.
Oh.
Actually got this from Doug when he got rid of Cody. His Cody. I was still doing a clone and he asked me if I wanted it. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Good answer.
What's a woodchuck?
Yes, enlighten us.
Made out of wood. Woodchuck is the maker. Except for these two strips right here, they're metal. Other than that, the whole thing is just wood. I just went ahead and painted it, and now I'm just scuffing it up a bit. I think I'm pretty much done, actually.
How heavy is it?
Not very, like maybe 6-7 pounds tops. No, it's not even that. Like five
I think
pounds.
the rifle you've got is like what, 7 or 8 pounds?
Yeah, the full rifle's 8 pounds. So yeah, he uses a really good stock of wood that's sturdy but light.
Yeah.
It paint really well as well.
I don't know if he has a page or anything. I think he's still just in the
Forums.
community. Yeah.
No, Facebook page.
Does he have one?
Yeah. Yeah, he's woodchuck. He's got one. Because he'll do runs. He just did a whole run of DC-17s. You get them by the pair.
Nice.
And yeah, he's where I got my DC-15, and he'll do runs of those from time to time. He'll make them up, and then he'll be like, boom, I've got this many. Whoever wants them, let me know now. And then once he runs out, sale's over, makes more. On to the next. Yeah.
He's really nice too.
Yeah, he's super nice. I like him a lot.
Met him once.
The DC-17, that's the clone pistols, right?
Yep. Yeah, the
So,
ones
are they realistic or animated ones that he's making?
his are realistic.
Gotcha. Yeah, I accidentally printed the animated. Accidentally, I accidentally downloaded it. I knew what it was, and then I printed it anyways because it was one of my first projects, and they came out really good. But I've got the files for some DC-17s that I'll be printing up soon. Now that I'm done with all the armor.
I think you should do what I said, but that's just my opinion.
Oh, what did you say? I already forgot.
Oh, there's a shock. I'm so used to it. I think you should print up a stormtrooper.
Oh yeah. So I had no idea that the majority of the stormtrooper armor was ABS.
Yeah,
I had no idea, and I've my printer can print both PLA and ABS, and I actually bought a roll of ABS because there's if you're trying to make a really like seamless project and you want to make an object look like there are no lines at all without sanding it, you can do an acetone vapor kind of it's like a little gas chamber almost, and you just line the walls of a container with some paper towels dipped in acetone. And if you have an object that's made out of ABS, it will actually melt the outside of it slowly, and the 3D lines, the printed lines, will start to fill with its own. It'll just melt into itself and kind of smooth over. And you can you take it out when it's like 80% done, and it cures. And it turns out to be, from the videos I see online, I mean, perfectly. Not only is it shiny and is it smooth, but if you had a black that you had printed and it looked kind of flat, for some reason, when you do this process, it not only like darkens it, but it just makes it more concentrated, shiny. And so I bought some gold ABS, and my idea was printing the golden idol from Indiana Jones, a 1-to-1 scale, and doing this little vapor project and seeing if it works. But in telling Wayne that, he told me that that's what the armor is made out of. So after printing this, I'm going to see how it works out and see if it's possible. But the only issue with printing ABS versus PLA is ABS has to be heated up so much hotter because it has a higher melting point. And so in order for it to like just print properly, I have to have a insulated bag over top of the printer to keep the heat in, because if I were to take it off, most of the heat would escape, and as it would print, it would shrink and create gaps and lines, and it probably wouldn't turn out good. And I did enough research to figure that out first. And so right now upstairs, it's about 86% done, and it's been printing for a day and a half now. So once that's done printing, I'm going to do this whole vapor thing, see how it comes out, and see if a helmet would be possible, because that would be the first thing I would want to do before armor. It's just seeing if I can do an ABS quality helmet, kind of like what people are paying for in kits, and something that won't melt in my car, because the PLA, the melting point is so low. I mean, when I'm trying to pull my filament out of the printer, it only has to be 100 degrees for it to heat up and come away. So, and it's once I paint it all white and stuff, it'll be fine, but still there's always that risk. So the idea of doing ABS, that sounds good, but it's a lot of work, especially with my printer having to cover it up. It's not a contained thing. So, but I'm giving it a shot and seeing if it's worth it. But that would be an awesome next project.
Well, if you print a stormtrooper, it's got to be Rogue One, right? Because you got to do the symmetric stormtrooper. Like
that's what I was going to say too.
They have. You can find files for anything. You got to pay for them. But
I think if you're gonna go to the effort of printing it, I think you would want to do the the quote unquote perfect stormtrooper, which is the Rogue one, because like that's the thing with the original trilogy stormtrooper is it was designed intentionally for the most part, but it was designed to be made out of plastic, being pulled from a vacuum former, and there's so much asymmetry with it and imperfections, and that's kind of like part of the charm. But recreating those imperfections via a 3D printer, I think would be it wouldn't look quite the same.
Right. No, it wouldn't. But I mean, you could get as close proportion wise. Like, I mean, you can have one eyeball bigger than the other, and you can have it. You can do the same thing. But you're right. It's not going to be. It'll actually be more of a hybrid. But I'm sure with Rogue One being as new as it is, that was armor though. They weren't animated, were they?
No. Yeah, they actually made it, and they were 3D printed as well. Like whatever Disney uses to 3D print.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah, all the new armor is all coming from 3D printers.
Gotcha. Well, now does that mean the prototypes are coming from 3D printers?
No.
They're actually walking around in 3D printed plastic.
They have.
Cool.
I think, Paul, you shared a picture of this before, but it's like a room-sized 3D printer that looks like a machining center from like a heavy industrial center, and it's like it just pumps out armor all day. And
wow.
It doesn't have any print lines, and I don't know. I think their technology is actually proprietary. So, but it's flexible as well, which is the craziest thing. So that's how they're able to do all these stunts and the way that they designed it. The First Order Stormtroopers to me is some of the most fascinating stuff because they designed it to be able to put it on people on set very quickly. So like the chest piece has like a yoke, and then there's a chest that sits down into the yoke, and it's like you could throw it together and you look great, and it takes 5 minutes, and then you can go and crack it on the set and you just throw another one on, and just over and over.
Yeah, if you have the digital copy of Force Awakens, there's a bonus feature that I think is now on everything. It was originally like a Target exclusive. It's like inside the armory or something like that. It goes in, they actually show things coming out of this giant 3D printer that's like as big as a room. They're pulling weapons out of it, armor out of it. Like
I've got to check this out.
Everything was 3D printed.
It's a Star Trek replicator.
Essentially, yeah. Yeah, if you've got the digital copy of Force Awakens, go to if you've got the Movies Anywhere account, which if you don't, you're an idiot. Go on there, go to the extras, and look for a feature. And it's like 5 or 10 minutes long. But yeah, it goes all into the weapons and how they made them and designs and stuff like that.
Wow. Yes.
Gunnar, what time are we at? We're not going to run out of time, are we?
No, so I thought that there was a limit, but not if you have a paid subscription. So we're good. Okay, nice. But it's up to you guys. But we're rolling.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure we weren't going to all of a sudden be cut off, and it was going to have to be like.
Nope, I should have let you know before. I just went ahead and paid for the pro, so we didn't have to do that.
Wow, high roller over here using his Trump bucks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Somebody's got to do it.
I take that back. I do recommend something. I had a lot of fun going back and watching Rebels again. Now that you can stream it on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
Is it new? No. But is it a good fun watch? Yes. And unlike Clone Wars, even the weak episodes are still kind of fun.
Yeah, I felt like the Clone Wars really stuck to its Clone Wars thing, and then the Rebels was so much more inventive. I mean, like Ezra's blaster lightsaber. That's like stuff that as a kid you're like, if I had a lightsaber, mine would have a blaster on it, And so they did it, and I felt as I was watching it, and I haven't finished it. I think I'm in season 4. How many seasons are there?
4.
There's so much going on. As soon as Disney Plus came out, I started watching everything I could. But Rebels is the one I have yet to complete. But
I've heard from a lot of people. Apparently, when Rebels was airing, it aired at like a weird time, or was I think because it was on like Disney XD, which a lot of people didn't get.
yeah,
A lot of people missed out on Rebels.
it was before. It was right before. Well, it was in a time between like when we would actually sit down and watch stuff on TV, and in between the time that there was basically Disney Plus. It was just like a weird limbo where anything Disney was like you had to go to the Disney Channel, which was, not everybody has cable anymore. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's why I missed it. I know that's why I missed Clone Wars. And Rebels was after that, so I feel like even more so because it had not quite I don't think Rebels was released on any streaming service before Disney Plus, was it?
It was
No.
on Disney XD, but you still had to have a cable subscription because I watched it on. I don't think I had the channel, but for whatever reason, I had the app, and yeah. But I think what's so cool about Rebels, like versus Clone Wars had arcs, but Rebels was one long arc. It was a one coherent story, and that was. I mean, I think that's what really set it apart, and it made it so it was so enjoyable to watch from beginning to end. And there's no episodes that you can miss in there because they all lead into the next.
Yeah, and like Clone Wars jumped all around. Like one episode was Kit Fisto, one was Anakin, one was Plo Koon. But then Rebels is, and it's 99% focused on this group of people, and you follow them for 4 seasons.
And that's kind of what everybody wanted from like the new movies was they kind of wanted like a group of like a gang kind of, more like Scooby-Doo gang, not like, the Bloods and Crips. And they, they would kind of, stick together. And a lot of people complained in these newer movies that they wish that they had, Poe and Rey and Finn all together doing, their little mission thing, but it rarely was like that. And so, you kind of get more of that camaraderie in Rebels. And like you guys said, they stick to a storyline. It's not jumping all over the place. It's, but the only thing about the storyline is that for me, I felt like there were other things going on, and I was like, I just lost interest because there's so many other things going on. It didn't quite keep me there. Yeah, I think I just got to the point where he got his hair cut, and I was like, okay, what's going on? But but still, I gotta finish it out. And then of course, I love seeing Darth Vader through the series. You don't get to see that. That Darth Vader.
If the character was there, that's who's voicing them.
Yeah, they got James Earl Jones and Ian McDermott came back to voice Vader and the Emperor. Frank Oz came back to do Yoda.
That Yoda's so ugly, though.
Yeah, it's a weird design on Yoda.
Yeah,
Qui-Gon's in it. And
he's in Clone Wars.
I thought he was in Rebels as well. Didn't he talk to?
No.
Okay.
Just.
That's what I get for watching them both back to back.
It all bleeds together.
Forrest Whitaker came back to play Saw.
Yeah.
What? Okay, I have not gotten that far.
Who else was in there? Somebody else came back. Of course, Anthony Daniels, because if C-3PO shows up in anything for 2 seconds, Anthony Daniels is there.
He was in that what was it? Ralph Wrecks the Internet. We just watched that last weekend, and I was like, that's just Anthony Daniels as C-3PO for 8 seconds. Are you serious?
Yeah. Hey, he's got to get a paycheck too.
Even though it's his voice work, he dressed out in the whole thing, did it, and then take him out, and then he went.
Yeah, he walks into the booth. Boop, 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 boop.
Hey, want to get into character? Says his lines. Got to get out of this.
Yeah, Rebels. That's a good one. Good one, Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Well, let's see. So normally I have on here we would talk about some upcoming events. Some
Darkness.
At some point, somewhere, at some time, we will do an event.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, there's all kinds of there's virtual trooping and stuff, but that honestly hasn't really taken off. I mean, people are kind of talking, and there's some one-on-one stuff going on, but I think people are so wrapped up in how much things have changed that I don't think the 501st is really on everyone's mind right now.
yeah. It should be though. It's a lot of people. I know it's different if you're out of work and you're probably not feeling too great about life right now. But for me, I'm working half days now, and I love the fact that I have time to come home and to work on some stuff. I'm really taking advantage of this time and still working as much as I can, as much as I'm allowed to. But yeah, I'm staying busy with the prints and with all these other little projects. Yes, Prince.
You got a little tiny Prince?
No, Prince the singer. He's here with me.
Wow.
I got him over here. He's in a box, but no, I'm printing a bunch of stuff and a little bit. I don't know if I showed you guys the moon bus.
Did you print that?
You did.
I did not print it. It's from Mobius Models. They did a little pre-order thing about 3 years ago, and just got around to finishing it.
Wow, was that Lenovo's or?
No, it's
not bad.
Didn't just get it, did you?
What?
That's not bad though if you think about it. The way that they've got this set up, it sounds to me like you can put it together while you're watching the movie.
Yeah, no, it takes a lot longer than that.
I don't know.
Especially if you
took
want
you
it
a couple months.
Took me a couple of years.
Hey, that's a good movie.
Mm.
It is so good, man. Wait, are y'all being sarcastic?
You have enough time to sit down and build the model while you watch the movie enough times so it starts to make sense.
Well, yeah, it's true.
To where you're like, hey, that's tomorrow's date.
2001 in the wild world of the future, 19 years ago.
In the distant future. The distant future. But yeah, that was a fun project. Oh yeah, wait. I got light. Oh yeah. You gotta light it up.
This would be a great time if you had an armor kit that was just sitting around waiting to be built. This would be a great time to build it, and I'm just not at all. I'm being just the worst version of myself right now.
A lot of people are feeling that. Yeah, but like I said, my biggest thing is time. So I've got it now.
Yeah.
Well, I took over. I took Paul's blaster and I'm repainting it because I felt like I cheated him before in the paint job he had, and so I got his and mine, and I'm painting them now. But I'm taking my time with them because I do have the time for that, and I'm going to go ahead and just slap silver on it while the other black is tacky underneath. I'm giving it a week's time, just like the can says.
He says he complained about the paint job that was on there, knowing full well the terrible paint job that I put on that thing for 5 years.
Yeah.
No, yours was fine.
I had a really nice silver base coat, so if anything got scratched, you saw silver underneath, and whatever black I got was terrible, and it just went all over it.
Yeah, and that's why we painted it flat black. But then I learned the joy of
5 years later, we painted.
Yeah, but you were talking about because anytime I brought it up, you're like, whatever. It's just there. You hardly ever used it anyway. And then finally I talked you into it because I was painting something else anyway, and I was like, let me paint that one. And so we did it with the black, and it looks flat black looks fine on a blaster, but matte looks so much better. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna be doing mine anyway. Give me yours. So I think it turned out pretty well. I dig that bit of a shine it gets to it. It's not
Mm-hmm.
too much, but it's just enough. And then once you get the silver on there, that shine really makes it pop, looking like metal.
Now you do some like dry brush.
Yeah.
Silver on top.
Yeah, that's what I got to do. Hard silver on the little like cocking mechanism, and I'm going to tape off that hole and paint the spring inside. I'm going to paint it silver again.
Yeah.
And then, just follow each lines and just weather it up a bit.
Sounds like a
Yeah.
fun project.
Me,
I'm
I had the choice. It was like I could buy armor, or I could buy a guitar, and I bought a guitar.
Well, the guitar will sell better in the future if need be.
I
They
don't
will
know. Armor
always
holds its value pretty well.
not at pawn shops, my friend. Not at pawn shops.
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Guns
I don't
and
sell my guitars.
instruments.
Yeah, no.
I sold my first two, and I regret it. I've regretted it ever since.
Mm.
So
I'm fortunate enough that the ones that I have let go are not nearly as cool as the one I have now, and I got a much better deal. Yeah, so worked out for me. Cool story, right? Well,
that's all I got.
The no upcoming events, indefinitely. That's when we'll be back.
Our events for August are still on the calendar.
Okay.
I hope by August we'll be back at least in some small capacity.
Yeah, we still have. I'm leery about it because of everything, but Big Lit Con in August is still on. We have the Pulaski Yankees have a Star Wars night, and Salem Red Sox have a Star Wars night in August. Those are all.
Those
still
are
on.
fun ones. I love those August troops.
It's like walking into a sauna. It's brutal.
At least there's no wind.
I do. I love it.
Yeah, it's just we're gonna walk out. We're gonna slowly roast ourselves to death, and then we're gonna say we're overheated and we're done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we go, we should probably go eat. And then we go cram food in our face that we really shouldn't eat after having been overheated. But we get to.
There was the one time where we went to a Denny's and like everyone just ate and then we all felt like crap afterwards.
That was not a good Denny's we went to either. It was nasty.
What Denny's isn't?
Somebody complained about the salad. If you're complaining about a salad, that's how bad the food was.
Get out of there.
Lettuce with like 3 cherry tomatoes thrown on top of it and 2 croutons. Not like there's, involved or anything. I got the salad and had all the vegetables from the garden. You're lucky to get an onion.
They were still saying like it was slimy or something like that. It was
Yes.
Yeah, something was gross about a salad. So it was just nasty food all the way across.
We need a segment on this podcast where we talk about bad post-troop dinners.
I'm putting that in the notes.
We have so many. I want to tell them all now, but we should save them for later.
Yes.
One per episode.
You know what we could do? We could also tell troop stories.
That's good.
Coming back from, during.
Yeah, we can. My wind comment was not an offhand comment.
No, I don't speak of that anymore because I tried to joke around about it, make it better that day, and it did not go over well. So
no.
The wounds were still fresh.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a question. Right now, if you are trying to get approved, is that on hold? Is that still going on? Okay.
No, the approval's still going.
Yep.
Okay. That's a big deal.
I'm still. There's not a lot of people submitting right now, but I'm still posting approvals. I mean, if you think about it, now is the time that the GML has the most time that he has to take a look at everyone's approvals. It's not like he's doing anything else.
Right. Well.
So now would be a great time to submit your costume, actually.
Yeah, I've got no excuse. I really need to get this clone armor done because it's all printed. Besides some belts and little boxes and stuff like that, but I've what is that?
art.
Oh, beautiful.
It's the plastic from the inside of my clone. That's a
Nice.
piece of Velcro.
Nice. Yeah, so I don't have an excuse. I really should get this done. And I should hopefully get it approved before we go back out. That'll be swell.
That would be awesome.
Yep.
So get it approved by August.
Yep.
You can do it.
That's my goal. It's my goal.
Well,
I mean,
I can help you over this.
I know you can.
Yeah. So we'll get you set up with like the straps and everything. Because I mean, you've got all the pieces. All you need to do is paint them and then put the strapping inside. You're done.
Yep.
Well, you
Yep.
gotta glue it, and you gotta sand it, and you gotta paint it, and you gotta sand it, and you gotta paint it, and you gotta sand it.
Well, no,
Well, that's
he's
all
already
being
to
done.
that point.
That's already. Yeah.
He's already done with that.
I
Really?
have,
Yeah.
well, not exactly. What I've gotten to the point is almost every piece has been sanded down, has been filled with primer and filler, and it has been sanded down and filled multiple times. And it's gotten to the point now where if you put a layer of everything has a layer of primer on it, and you cannot see any lines or any things like that. So now it's ready for black. I'm going to paint it flat black now. And then
Yeah.
before I paint the white, I'll use some like rubber cement in a few spots for like streaks and damage and weathering and stuff like that. And so when I paint it all white, I can rub off that and it'll make it look like the paint has flaked off rather than been like scrubbed off. So it kind of looks more like what you see in the animation. And
That's what I did for my Boba Fett helmet. Some of the sections on my helmet had 6 or 7 layers of paint because I would mask it and paint it and mask it and paint it. And I mean, it was going like blue, green. It would start like with a white base coat, and then it was silver, and then there was like yellow, and then there was tan, and then there was green, and then there was blue, and it was like, oh my gosh.
it sounds like a jawbreaker with like endless layers.
I mean, you can if you look close enough, you can see each layer of paint. It's intense, especially the back panels. You know what? I mean, I have it right here. The back panels are the most intense.
Is that the way?
So each color that you see here, you see this is like a kind of a different shade. You have some gray, some silver, green, tan. This green is actually a mix of green and blue, so it's not green like the rest of the helmet. You see it's a different shade.
Yeah.
It's actually has some blue mixed in. And then you have like I want to say that there was another color in there as well. And then like on the front you have red, and the same thing where it's like red, silver, white. There was another shade of red in here somewhere as well. I mean, it's like, and then each section. So I did the dome as one part. I did each cheek as one part. This was one part. This was one part. I mean, it took, I calculated at least 150 hours to paint this thing.
Sounds like a nightmare.
It was definitely a learning experience. I learned how to airbrush, and I haven't used it since.
That's good to know. It looks really good, dude. And in person, it looks even better. Looks like a prop, man.
I love having it. I mean, it was so incredibly difficult. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life. But like, it's to the point where I don't even want to take it off my shelf. I've considered actually getting the new Hasbro EFX helmet and then trooping in that one if it's assuming it's good enough. I've heard that the visor is see-through, so you just replace the visor. But assuming it looks, I've seen pictures. It looks actually similar to this. So I would leave this one on my shelf and then troop in that one. But
yeah.
Or
if we could find a file, I could maybe print one up for you. I know there's tons. There's some free ones. There are some more expensive ones. And if
I'm never painting another Boba Fett helmet ever again.
Go for Django.
That would be a lot easier. Django would be cool.
And you have both.
Yeah.
Django was originally my freaking favorite character back whenever it first came out.
Before I did this, Django was the one that I was going to do because it was going to be easier, and it would have been easier to build. But I was like, you know what? If I'm spending all this money, I'm going to go with the Mac Daddy.
and you did. Great choice.
You actually went with Mac's son, but okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that about does it for today. Anything else? Any concluders? Anything else you guys want to throw in before we say goodbye to everybody?
No, I was going to go play some Battlefront if anybody cares.
Nice. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for listening, and thank you guys for joining.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Better. All right. Till next time. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.